We're at Colebrook Reservoir, the headwaters here, the Farmington River in Sandisfield, Mass. We're following up. We're investigating some of the legends of the Winston wild man, and we'll post some information about him. He's really interesting. Of course, he communicated to some people, but he was 9 foot tall, and others just your typical Bigfoot type thing. So Bigfoot, before he was Bigfoot, was wild man, and before that the Native Americans had names for him here. The stone giant, the Ganasquas. We'll see you out there. At Colebrook Reservoir, and we're at the beginning of it, where the Farmington River from Sandisfield, Massachusetts flows into the Colebrook Reservoir, and the state line between Connecticut and Massachusetts is right here. We were traveling Route 8, and we're going to be investigating, talking about a little bit about the Winston wild man. He was kind of a Bigfoot fella that was spotted in the 1800s in Winston, Connecticut. Some people said he was man-like, that he could communicate. One report, my favorite Winston wild man report is a gentleman was walking on a path. Back then it was, gravel roads, and he was a farmer. And all of a sudden, on his travels into Winston from Colebrook, a wild man jumps out. So this Winston wild man encounters this guy, this farmer, on the way into Winston, as I was saying. And, the farmer described the encounter as Crust jumped out of a thicket of woods, said, "Which way to town?" The farmers described him as over 10 feet tall and completely covered in hair. And the farmer pointed to the direction towards Winston, and the wild man just continued back through the woods. So listen, that might just be one of the only story I know of where possible Bigfoot communicated which way to town and then wanted nothing to do with town. Almost like, oh, it's that way, I'm going this way. And you know what, Winston wild man, I'm feeling you. Well, that's what we're doing today. We're just here on this steel bridge in this Farmington River. We told you about raptors earlier. We identified that as a hawk. I'm going to say red tail. It was definitely a hawk, not a falcon, and definitely not an eagle. You see an eagle fly? Yeah, look at that. They do that. I own the air. I'm a bald eagle. Little birds will mess with them, but that's just out of jealousy. After the campground, I was talking with the camera person, and it's an agreed thing. It's like, wow, this place is really nice. Hold on one second. Cut. There. Just had to smack the camera person in the head because the mosquito. And these are the Berkshire Mountains. We're now in Sandisfield. This is, I don't know, a tributary that flows into the Farmington River, which is right there. Wow. I'm so thankful. I was hiking a while back, and I do this when I'm in the forest sometimes. I don't know if I've explained this to you. What I'll do is I'll demonstrate it. It just came natural to me today, and I was hiking, and a girlfriend at the time asked me what that is. What are you doing? And I had to stop and think about it. Like, well, I guess I'm feeling roots growing through my feet and moving my limbs the same as the trees. I said the closest thing I guess you could call it would be tree yoga. And I like doing it. Very relaxing. I suggest you try it. You just gotta, you know. And then, so then I took it a little further. And this is a great stream to demonstrate that. And I would follow bubbles. And it's so relaxing. We're gonna get in there. You see this road ends over here. And there's just trails shooting out all over the place. We're gonna definitely get in here. Let's get by the banks of this Farmington River. I'm loving this place. Wow, Farmington River, Sandisfield, Massachusetts, in the Berkshire Mountains. So, when we came through that yellow gate, this is a state line. We're still in Massachusetts, but it's interesting because the sign over there said downstream from that sign is what it said is Connecticut regulations prevail. That means the fishing regulations of the state of Connecticut prevail in this body of water. They're almost the same as Massachusetts, except Massachusetts you can fish all year for trout. In Connecticut, for whatever reason, I won't get into it, we have a trout fishing season. I'm predicting we do away with that someday, okay? You heard it here first. Look at this mountain. I can still hear the highway. But let's do a howl. What do you think? I'll do one like my brother Maine did, Larry. So Larry, this is a Larry call. Whoa! It's loud here. The river is really loud, and then Route 8. Water's high. Look at this. This is fantastic. After the camping experience, what are you looking at, camera person? Want to decompress, if you've gone on the world's worst camping trip with the loudest people and you need a day off from that, come follow our route. There's people right over there and they're looking at us like, what the hell are these sasquatchers doing? Trying to figure out what the hell we're doing. And they got binoculars. They're from Connecticut. I know because I saw the plates on their Jeep. And I'm just gonna act like, you remember we were at Mohawk Mountain and that senior lady caught me doing that. And no, she didn't have to say anything. I know she was thinking. I could hear it in her head, just like my main grandmother. What the hell ails you? What's wrong with you? Howling like that in the middle of the woods. You trying to get a bear attack or something? These people are going to have that same sort of like... let's go see. Let's go past them and see the reaction. So they definitely gave me the "you're crazy" look, and I'm starting to like that. The camera person was commenting on these boulders placed here by the Army Corps of Engineers, and they always do things so nice. You gotta give them credit. We did scare up from these hikers here, if you want to call them that. We got a crazy look. So we got that going today. I am the Winston Wild Man. I'm just going to start asking people outright, have you seen Bigfoot? Just like that, straight up. Yeah. Let's see what happens. Look at this place. This goes on for miles and miles and miles. Some of it's state forest. Some of it's just wild land. Some of it's managed like this Army Corps of Engineers. Two claws up, dog man. On the 29th of August, I picked this as Virginia ivy. Look at this. We got the first fall foliage for you right here at CCIS. If you got a redder one, I'll let you collect that $5 reward. It's got to be the same date. Autumn's coming, so get ready, man. We're going to have a good time this autumn into this winter. Look at these wildflowers here. Pretty cool. I mean, that's the kind of water I drink right there. That's coming from a spring somewhere, probably a lot of the rainfall. It's all filtered. You could catch beaver fever from it. Oh man, I'm tempted. We're howling. This is an investigation. I felt it too. The camera person concurred that we're feeling like we're being watched from this other side. And it's mountainous and it's dense. Wow. I'm seeing, not here, but all at this, oh, look at this back here. I'm seeing a lot of wild grapes. Of course you got water, and of course you got fish, wild freshwater mussels, and there's even freshwater oysters. I've seen them here in Connecticut, in the Willimantic River, but look at this. And if you're into trout fishing, this rapid water, oxygenating this water, coming into now slower and deeper water. And if I was trout fishing, I'd want to fish right here. Looking at you, George. Get out fishing with us. We won't video you, just me. I'll be the knucklehead. You know, camera person? I think we found us another swimming spot. This is real nice. I talked about the wild grapes, and here we are. There's 3 varieties, and the 3 varieties on the Connecticut state flag. But there's Fox, Vulpina, and Muscadines. The Fox are the really small ones. These are the Vulpinas. Some of these are probably ready. This particular bush didn't fare too well, probably too much shade. But again, this just shows you the forage base that we're dealing with. And all 3 of these grapes are edible. The entire plant is edible. Here's some better ones right here. I'll go ahead and eat one. That's nice and tart. We found this guy here. It's an old Hot Wheels. Not too old, actually. Boy, when I was a kid, they were made out of metal. This is all plastic. Look at this. Don't leave your toys in the wood. Come on. We're taking this. We usually leave things. We're taking this. Anything biting today? Yeah. Anything biting? No, boy, I was talking to the other guys at the boat launch, and they weren't getting anything either. Really? Yeah. Since we got back here, there's a hawk or a falcon juvenile calling for its parents. That's it. That's a raptor. We don't know time. We're going to do a call tab. We got some big dog prints here. Some big dogs. This is a perfect place to look for tracks, by the way. And when the sign said road ends here in water, road ends in water, the road ends in water. Let's do a call tab. And this is going to be allowed. Tell you something. Forget the highway behind me. That's squatchy. And you could see a Bigfoot up there, no problem. And then coming into the town of Winston, which would be your first town back in the 1800s, you know, the Winston Wildland. And I have aerial photographs of Winston. The forest it comes in like fingers. So the forest sort of juts out. And if you came from the main part of the forest into one of those little fingerlings and you're a squatch and you just run through to the next one, that's where you get sighted. And that's a unique thing. You go to Google Earth, look up the town of Winston, Connecticut, see it for yourself how the fingers go from forest right in through the town in a very strange finger-like pattern. If you could see. Didn't hear any kind of response. Of course, I was gabbing. You could really communicate by call tapping here. .8. Yeah. That's a 4.8 on our squatchometer. We invented the squatchometer. That's a CCIS original. Go ask this chair if it's seen anything. Okay. Here's this chair. This sucker's old. Or it's really weathered. Look at these tracks here. Look at this. I don't know, that's just right here. Oh, I know what that is. See, that's where people stuck their fishing rods in there. Yep, that's what that is. They're not tracks at all. Telling me somebody actually sat on this. Wow. I'm not gonna try that. Airplane. There's always airplanes overhead in Connecticut and Massachusetts apparently. But wow. I saw there's a kayaker coming in this way. We got these weeping willows here. And this guy over here is fishing. I was gabbing with him about fishing. They're not catching anything here today. We talked to somebody else at the boat launch. Who knows why? They're bass fishing. Me? I would troll a dancing eel. That's how I would fish this. I usually talk to the rocks, the glacial erratics, but the boulders I'm seeing here were placed here. Even though they have a story. Look at this chair. And I'll ask you, so chair, is any kind of Winston wild man, 10, 11 feet tall, walked by here or sat you in the past anytime? I'm not so certain about that. Any kind of bushy, you know, like my cousin Tubby from Maine, like big burly guy come up to you and sort of grunt and howl and eat raw fish heads? I thought so. There's some big tracks back there. Wow. And there's that raptor. And this is the road ends in water. So this is the kind of crab apple. It's just here. It's not eaten. There's no apple trees around. I'm guessing this guy fell in the river and floated down and ended up here. But then again, you know, we talk about a forage base. Listen, if you're a real animal, Bigfoot, let's just speculate. Let's just say no supernatural abilities. It doesn't fly around in UFOs. It's an animal. It's a biological animal. It's gonna need things like this. If you're primate, you're gonna be omnivore, and you're gonna need things that eat things like this. Forage base is critical, and there's forage base all over the place here. And we are here. We're here at Colebrook Reservoir. 4.8 on the squatchometer. We didn't get any response, but you sure do feel like stuff's watching you from up there. That almost sounds like a bald eagle juvenile, which wouldn't surprise me, but I'm leaning really probably peregrine falcon, because they like those high heights where it comes down so they can get a good dive. And you know, peregrine falcon in free flight is the fastest animal on earth. They can go really, really fast. We'll list the speed. I don't want to guess, but it's crazy high. And they just impact their prey. Bam, and that's it. Game over. Road over for us. We had a great time today. We really did. You know, we showed you a campground. I was a little harsh on the campground. If you got kids, it's a really fun place. They can go swim in there. It's shallow. It looked really nice. But if you're looking for solitude or something, that's not the place. Come here. Find the steel bridge. It's that first right turn. It's not even marked steel bridge. It's just a road with no markings. But come down and take that first right after the boat launch into Sandisfield, Mass. You'll really be glad you did. These tracks go into the water here. You probably can't see them on the camera, but there's a really big one there. There. Dogs do that. I don't know what it is. It's big. And that's good. I can taste it. I'm not drinking that water. Don't drink still water like this. Okay, don't do it. Look at all this mud. But what happens sometimes on these investigations, you'll get a bug in your nose. That's what happened to me. I got a bug up my nose. So, find water and flush it. Don't drink this water. Drink the one I showed you coming down off that little spring fed. But this here, oh no, you'll definitely get beaver fever. Definitely. If you want to think you got a new Delta variant of COVID, then you drink this water, you'll get beaver fever, and everyone will think you have COVID for sure. Good advice from CCIS. How to fake COVID. Drink this pond water. About a half gallon will do it. Hey, you're not supposed to catch that. I'm doing my river yoga.